Hey, y'all want to know some things about me? I'm sure you do, because it's kind of like, who is Kia? Who runs with Crohn's? I mean, like, that's pretty basic, right? My name is Kia. I have Crohn's disease and I like to run. Yeah. Game over. All right. That's all you need. No, I'm just kidding. No, so I decided to go ahead and do this YouTube channel and, kind of start my journey, because it's something that I've really always wanted to do. I started my Instagram account, Kia Runs with Crohn's, and that was really at the beginning of my running journey, running to my first marathon, actually, in which I ran my first marathon in February of 2020 in Mesa, Arizona. And that was literally 1 month before the world shut down. So I actually got that out of the way. And it was actually pretty interesting. So what kind of not necessarily in the middle, but right before I started like officially hardcore training for my marathon, actually joining like a run club, getting a little run crew, I got really sick. Crohn's disease. I had a terrible flare up. Like, it just really felt like it came out of nowhere. But a lot of times, these things don't just come out of nowhere. There were some signs and things like that, but I didn't realize that it was going to get as terrible. So by the time I actually, got to the doctor and, started to be able to get things kind of taken care of, it was kind of too far gone. My flare up was terrible. I've never had a flare up as terrible from when I was diagnosed in 1991. I was 11. That was the last time I had such like a really terrible, horrible, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in the hospital for a flare up, kind of terrible. So then after that, I kind of, I was in the hospital. It's a very strange, convoluted story, but I was in this hospital and I'd been training for, I just run like my first 10K, and I had signed up for a half marathon in May. So it was like, I was hospitalized in April for 7 days. I was away from my family. I was in the hospital for Easter. It was very terrible. And then I went to my doctor and I said, hey doc, I've signed up for this half marathon. What do you think? She was like, if you feel like you can do it, do it. And guess what? I didn't really necessarily feel like I could do it, but I got there and I did it. I ran my first half marathon a month after being in the hospital for 7 days for Crohn's, for a Crohn's flare up. I lost a massive amount of weight. It was crazy. Like in 2 weeks, it was, I'm a healthy person, right? Like, I mean, I know like my weight, I'm very comfortable with my weight. I'm very comfortable with things like that. So, you go from like a decent 155 down to 125 in 2 weeks. I looked crazy and I felt crazy, and it was a terrible feeling. It was scary. We actually thought I was going to die. I would not go to sleep because I was like, I'm not going to wake up. It was that bad. Like, I was just like miserable and depressed, because these are the things that happen when you have an autoimmune disease and it's taking over your whole life. Needless to say, I was lucky though, because I came out of that flare up. I started taking care of my body, right? So I did everything, because I was so afraid, right? I did everything I needed to do to not have to ever, go through that. So I cut my diet. I cut out all the red meat. I cut out all the pork. I cut out all the fried foods. I mean, I cut out, wine. I mean, excessively. Like, I cut out so many things. I was like on an egg and rice diet with like salmon, and it was good. Like, I was happy. Like, my gluten-free breads. I had my avocados. I had my oil-based tuna. I mean, it was all very wonderful. I'm very healthy, running my miles, taking care of business, doing what I need to do. I was actually in a very blessed position because, I was actually at the time a stay-at-home mom. And so I was able to like go to strength training and go to yoga and run my miles and prepare all these meals and prepare my family's meals and clean my house clean and do all these wonderful things and take care of my body. And guess what happened? I decided I wanted to go back to work. And I'm a chef, y'all. So I opened a little cafe. Things went downhill from there, needless to say. But I decided after 2.5 years of that, I'm now, kind of back at home. So I can go ahead and take care of my health again. So that's why we're on this journey, because, it's almost like we're starting over from scratch, minus the flare, because I'm not in a flare. I'm trying not to go into a flare because, well, nobody wants to be hospitalized these days. And if you know, like I know, I don't want to pay hospital bills again. The U.S. insurance healthcare system is a whole racket. I can't afford it. I can't afford that. And God knows, as much as I paid back then, I don't know what I have to pay today. So I'm just gonna try to do what I can, keep my body healthy by maintaining my diet and my exercise, and going to see my doctor. I actually have to call it a day to make an appointment. So yeah, so now you know a little bit more about me. I'm sure we'll be doing this again plenty more times. All right, chat later.